Good morning. Good morning, Gambia. Good morning, friends of the Gambia. A lot has been happening in the new Gambia, and most of it's healthy. We need this. See, a democracy needs to be tested. A democracy needs trials and tribulations. And through that, the country will learn. Through that, we will do better. And through that, we will re-engineer our processes and procedures and also priorities. See, every government ought to have priorities. What's important in the development aspiration of this government? I believe in the Gambia, we want economic growth. But see, economic growth is premised on key macro fundamentals. And these fundamentals can't happen without a healthy population, an educated population, and a well-fed population. And all these impinges on social sectors, health, education to be precise. We've known that teachers in Gambia, nurses in the Gambia, policemen in the Gambia are the worst paid as it relates to the public sector pay scale. Well, it's not only common to Gambia, it's common the world over, both in the first world and in the second world. But priorities need to shift. Why should our priorities shift? A country like Gambia has a demographics that's made up of the young people. These young people need opportunities, but without education and health, they won't have these opportunities. I saw on the paper today something that's a bit troubling. Look at that. Teachers on strike, and they've been given an ultimatum. It's somehow new in the Gambia because we're not used to this because of Yaya Jammeh. We're not used to strikes because the environment was muscling and stifling. Times have surely changed, but I do believe teachers are the last people who should go on strike. And they should exhaust all avenues to make sure that their issues are addressed, and addressed in a fashion that will not hinder the education that kids should be receiving in school and on campuses. Therefore, I am in solidarity with the teachers asking for better pay and better work conditions. But there are better ways of doing it. You see, teaching is one of those professions that you have to like to be engaged in it. Because there's no money in teaching, but there's an infinite reward in seeing people being produced as great students. So therefore, the passion for teaching doesn't go hand in glove with money, but notwithstanding, teachers need to be taken care of. You look at the results coming out of our high schools and middle schools for the past 15, 18 years have been very lackluster, to say the least. Very bad, not impressive. And we've nearly lost a generation who are half-baked, educated literates. I call them functional literates. Why are they functional literates? They've gone through school, but they haven't gone through the rigors of education, meaning what they should have been equipped with at the 12th grade or high school, they haven't had this. And this is hindering their efforts to have lifelong skills of survival. So teaching is a fundamental pillar in terms of our economic development and aspirations. Teachers of old loved the passion. Mrs. Gibson of Methodist, Mrs. Carroll of Gambia High School, someone like Mrs. Forbes of Methodist once again, Mr. Fowlis, Mr. Good, you name it, Mrs. Ndao. These people love education and love to create a crop of Gambians who can be future leaders. So it was not about money. But the teacher of today is not the teacher of yesterday. Why? Education has become a dumping ground. Education has become an employment of last resort for a lot of people who can't get a job. So the passion of teaching has been lost. But equally, President Jammeh brought forth this problem to a larger extent. We are not going to cry over spilled milk. I am not going to cry over spilled milk, but we need to understand where we are and why we got to where we are. See, education is about relevance, and relevance is about quality. So therefore, with quality, we need an incremental approach towards broadening the educational base. But no, 1994 came, and President Jammeh said, access for all. See, with access for all, you compromise quality. When you compromise quality, standards of education drops. When standard of education drops, the quality of the product, the students finishing middle and high school are no longer the types of students we used to have. Also, Mr. President, during 1995 to all the way to maybe 98, he was in an expansionary phase, getting donor funds, grants to build schools all over the country. But what he failed to realize that building schools, which is a capital expenditure, is one thing. But the biggest problem is the operational expenditure to maintain those schools. And that's why today these teachers are going on strike, because the operational expenditures to keep these schools going hasn't been forthcoming the way it should. And the expectation of these teachers haven't been met. The way forward is very simple. We need to change the packages, and the packages is just not about cash. See, teachers are worried about rent, worried about feeding, worried about transportation. See, teachers, police, and nurses, they suffer from the same thing. So one thing the government can do, have packages, low-cost housing. See, for them to stay in their post and for them to stay long as teachers, because we have a high attrition rate as it relates to teachers, and they're looking for better pastures. That's one, or greener pastures rather. Secondly, you know, these teachers are spending quite a lot of time doing other things other than teaching in the classroom, and it's the student that suffers. So the government of the Gambia needs to find incentives that's going to make the teaching field a little bit more attractive and a little bit more sticky in the sense that they will stay. So I think we need to come up with a low-cost housing project. Houses that cost no more than $12,000 be given out to teachers, nurses, and police officers, and this will tie them up to their jobs. But giving them an ultimatum, I think, sends the wrong message. This should not be a confrontation, but it should be a negotiated settlement. Whether the teachers' unions support the strike or not, that's not the issue here. The issue is the Gambia needs its teachers, and without these teachers, we're doomed. And next door, Senegal, we see what strikes do. Oftentimes, the students go a whole year without attending classes because the Ministry of Education is at loggerheads with the teachers and the teachers' union. That's not what we want in Gambia. So what we need, I think, is a negotiated settlement that gives a win-win, because the teachers, honestly, they're left out. See, Gambia, what has happened over the years, packages in most of these government offices are bloated in the top and very lean middle going downward. And this needs to change. We need better redistribution of resources, facilities, and opportunities to all government officials, especially the ones who are delivering the social services that this country needs. I therefore urge the government to sit down and see the best way forward. Thank you and have a great day. Mr. B.